You know, one of the biggest paradoxes in networking, very simply, is this. The sweetest sound to somebody's ears is truly their own name. So when you're at a networking event, please make sure that when you're at that event, you learn that person's name. If you're like most people, you know, sometimes you literally meet the person and the name goes right overhead. It's not a big deal for you to turn around and say, could you please repeat that? Or I didn't catch that, or even make a joke of it. If my ears weren't screwed onto my head, I probably would lose them. You can always use your personality to make sure that you get that person's name and repeat it to yourself so that you'll get it. What I always do is I actually repeat it 2 or 3 times during the conversation. Not obnoxiously, because you don't want to look like some sort of wacko trying to say, so Peter, what do you think about this, Peter? You don't want to do that. But if you can repeat it in the conversation, you will remember it. And then I also actually picture it tattooed on their forehead. So literally the face and the name come together for me. By the way, the sweetest sight to somebody's eyes is their own name. So please, if you're sending a follow-up letter or a correspondence, please, please, please make sure you spell it correctly. Now, the correct spelling of my name is a little bit different than most people's who have my name. I spell it with 2 I's, Jaimie. I gotta admit, sometimes it irks me when people I know, and in fact, friends of mine for 15, 20, 30 years, still spell it incorrectly. But I get over it really quickly. And more importantly, if I've given you a business card, you really should be able to know how to spell my name. And vice versa. If somebody gives you a business card, please spell their name correctly on the correspondence. It's one of the sweetest sights. When you're at a networking event, another paradox is the fact that you're there not just to build your own business, but if you're there and go in with the attitude of giving, you will get. So always go to an event to give and not just to get. You want to be the business connector. You want to be that person who is trying to make sure that you're creating those relationships, and giving creates those relationships. By the way, referrals don't necessarily have to just be about business referrals. Referrals can be things like your dentist or the local restaurant. When you're listening to the conversation, and this goes back to our conversation about listening intently, you might hear that the person is going to have an anniversary. Maybe that's a great time to suggest your favorite restaurant in the area. Or maybe you find out that the person is having problems with their back. And this, by the way, is what I do all the time because I absolutely adore my chiropractor, and this man has changed my life. Suffice it to say, my chiropractor gets referrals from me on a regular basis. This isn't the type of business that the clients that I'm talking to want. They want me to refer them actual legal clients. Sometimes I can do it and sometimes I can't, but I do the best I can.